Hello, everybody. Welcome to S Dawn Premiere. This is a space for inspiration, motivation, and accountability because we all need that, especially for my ladies who I believe are on individual, personal, and very private journeys of discovering their goddess allure, beauty, and charm. It is my desire to encourage and help women to calm down, right? I want women to live their life on purpose and achieve their goals in peace, joy, and in calm flow. I want them to stop all of the hustling and bustling and just allow themselves to be easy, okay? Because it's better on the mind and it's better on our hearts and it is definitely better on our spirits. So before I get into the message, please be sure to like this video, share this video. Please be sure to subscribe to S Dawn Premiere here on YouTube, like S Dawn Premiere on Facebook, and be sure to follow S Dawn Premiere on Instagram. It's go time, baby. So tonight's topic, once again, is a result of me being inspired by taking my daughter to physical therapy. Yes, she's still in physical therapy almost 6 months later after she suffered an injury where she broke her elbow. So still recovering from that. We now have a device called a Dynasplint, supposed to help her stretch out that elbow. So that is one of my major projects that I am working on right now, is helping my daughter to straighten her arm out. And it is a lot. Just making sure that she is well and making sure she's doing the work every single day. It's very important to me, and it's just one of many things that I am focused on right now. But I thought about this particular topic, the myth of multitasking, because today was one of those long days where I had a number of things to do, where I was working on all of my major projects. So in real life, I am a dance fitness instructor. That's my passion. That's what I love to do professionally. That is the thing I love most, after being a mom. And so that's what I do in real life. I have a side gig of being an educator where I work inside the school system. So I do that too, and that comes with a high level of attention as well. So I was doing all those things today, and I almost forgot that my daughter had physical therapy. I don't know why. It was on the calendar. It's not like I didn't get a reminder, but I just still forgot anyway. And I had to, I was kicking myself a little bit because I was like, see, that's because you were trying to do so many things today. And y'all already know, I really do encourage us to stop doing all that. So I call this video the myth of multitasking. Let's get into it. So here's my disclaimer, right? Because I realize this message does not apply to everyone. I just know that it most definitely applies to me because when I try to be a multitasker, I usually suck at it. And now what I mean when I say multitask is I'm talking about trying to multitask major projects because I realize that each project has different tasks that have to be completed. What I'm saying is when I try to multitask, nothing gets done well. It's like I'm all over the place and my mind is kind of scrambled. So I'm probably the worst multitasker. I don't know. When I talk about multitasking, I'm talking about juggling over 3 major projects. Like I said before, I realize that inside each major project, there can be some level of multitasking. For example, when I am home in mom mode, I can work on the laundry and I can do the dishes and I can even help with homework kind of all at the same time, right? I can kind of multitask inside of mom mode, like different things simultaneously. That's likely because these tasks don't really require an intense level of focus, right? But when I'm in dance fitness instructor mode, I might create a routine. I might write out choreography notes and I might block music simultaneously. And that's because it's my craft. I love to do it. When I'm doing it, I'm in flow, right? I work easy and I love it and it's fun. Okay. But as an educator, I can teach, I can monitor my students, and I can assist students individually all in the same time frame simultaneously, right? And these smaller tasks all contribute to the larger goal of teaching. So currently, my plate is pretty full, in my opinion. My plate is full according to my standard. It will require a lot of mental, emotional, and physical output for me to add anything else into my mix. So I have to be careful not to overwhelm myself. Okay. So today, working with my daughter with the physical therapy and getting this new device on her arm has added more to the things that I have to do. So, more on that later. Let's get into it. All right. So, let's talk about being a jack of all trades and a master of none. All right. When you try to multitask, in my opinion, nothing gets done well. Not the way you really want it because you're all over the place. And I think it's because you are forcing your brain to be pulled in too many directions at once. And for some of us, this backfires. We think we are getting more done, but in actuality, we are likely doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but never fully maximizing the success of what we're working on. Hold on, I'm about to lose my voice. So, this, in my opinion, causes mediocre performance. And I think this happens because whenever you're choosing one project, in all honesty, you're neglecting another. And if you have trouble multitasking, then you are never fully focused in one direction. You are doing one task while thinking about another. A lot of times, this causes you to just kind of be all over the place, okay? And what it can make you do is make silly mistakes, some of which can be irreversible sometimes. You might even start dropping the ball in various areas. Like I almost forgot my daughter's appointment today and we would have had to reschedule, so we're rushing around, rushing to get there. It was my fault because I was doing too much, trying to be great, trying to get back into the swing of things, whatever. So you might drop the ball in various areas and you might even have a lackluster approach to the things that you are working on because you are heavy with what might feel like a burden of a to-do list. I say less is more, ladies. Pick one thing and go all the way in. I believe that this makes it easier for you to relax, calm down, and flow in your lane. Okay? So let's talk about a lack of mindfulness and focus. Okay? So when I'm talking about mindfulness, and you all can read about it at your leisure, my favorite line, Google it. I'm talking about being present, fully present, okay? Fully able to be in the moment enjoying the fullness of it, right? Enjoying your work while you're doing it, one assignment without being all over the place. You're in it. Enjoying time with your family. You're at a family event, a family function, and you're just in it. You're not worried about work. You're not worried about social media. You're not worried about, you're in that moment. Or when you're with your children, you're in that moment. You're not thinking about anything else, okay? You are in the moment, right? You're supposed to be enjoying a what are those days called? What do we call it, ladies? A mental day, right? Taking a day, taking some time to yourself. But you don't even fully enjoy it because even in the time that you're supposed to be taking for yourself, you're thinking about all these other things. You're actually thinking about and creating a to-do list for when your mental day is over. But if you were really being mindful and being present, you would just simply be and do nothing on your mental day. I highly recommend it. Please try it. Please try to start taking days this year to do absolutely nothing. Nothing. Okay? Your brain gets so overloaded with so many things to do, right? So you can't focus, you can't be mindful, and you can't be present. When people are talking to you, you're thinking about other things. You might even be looking at your phone or trying to get work done, typing on the computer, talking about, yeah, I hear you. You're not focused. You're not in the moment. You're not mindful. Okay? That is because that's what happens when you call yourself multitasking. And that's why I call it a myth, because essentially you can't do two things at once. Not really well. Not really well. At least I can't. Let me speak for myself. I won't paint a broad brush. Okay? You have to focus. I think I've made at least one video about this. Some of us start to work on a project, yet we are constantly thinking about other projects. You have to turn that off, right? Because you might be stressing your brain. It's too much. Like, you're definitely distracted, okay? You have a difficulty concentrating, right? And what happens is you allow yourself to be pulled in a million and one directions. You got to learn to say no to yourself when things that are not in alignment with your goals or where you see yourself in the future try to get in your way. You get caught up in other people's lives and in their worlds, or you get caught up in shiny things and sensational happenings on the internet or social media or in media in general. And you might start to feel like, oh, I should be doing that too. Oh, that's a great idea. Let me look into that. Oh, let me add that to what I'm already doing. You know what? Let me stop what I'm doing right now and let me Google that article. Let me read about that real quick. You're getting distracted. It's like there's nothing wrong with being motivated and inspired to elevate, right? And do more. But what I'm saying is this, like I've said in previous videos, be strategic. Don't just start adding more projects to your already full list of things to do. Before you jump to something new, make sure that you are solid inside of your original plan and focus, especially if it works for you and enhances your life in ways that make your heart smile and your soul soar. Okay? Make sure you are beating on your craft, right? Make sure you have beat on your craft to a point where you can explore new things without feeling overworked and stressed and burdened because you feel overwhelmed with responsibility. And when I say beat on your craft, I essentially mean you have been focused on your craft. You have gone all in and you have hammered in on your craft so much that you are seeing the fruits of your labor. It is successful. It is solid. And it's in a space where if you did start working on something else, it wouldn't fall apart. You know what I mean? Now, there are many people who will tell you to simply make a schedule and dedicate an hour to this project, and then an hour to that project, and then another hour to this other project. The problem here is this. Well, at least for me, when I try to jump from one project to another, it's confusing and stressful. It's like forcing my brain to switch focus. And then my brain is stuck in the original project. And this could be for good reason. When your brain is in alignment with your being, it's in alignment with who you are at your core. It's in alignment with your goddess allure, beauty, and charm. It's in alignment with what you are good at, and it's good for you and the kind of impact that it brings to people, especially if it brings the kind of impact that's peaceful and joyous, and it creates happiness not only for yourself but for others. It's almost as if your existence and the call on your spirit won't allow you to be pulled away. So when you do try to pull away or you do get distracted, all you're going to do is come back to that space. You're not going to be able to fully focus anywhere else. And if you try it, you're going to be kind of lackluster and kind of haphazard with with what your purpose is supposed to be, with the lane that you're supposed to be in. You're going to start being kind of careless in that area, and what a shame that would be. Imagine if you were careless and had a lackluster approach to your purpose because you're trying to multitask and juggle too many things and getting distracted. Pay attention to your gut, all right? Pay attention to your gut on this. Focus and go all in, okay? Uh-oh. Something's going on with the dog. Anyway, go all in, right? Listen to your gut and be mindful. Your gut, your body is telling you where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be doing. Go with it and don't be swayed. All right? So I've tried it all with scheduling and just like I laugh at myself because I'm thinking about what happened today and it's just so funny, right? I tried it all with scheduling various projects for the morning, and then okay, I'm gonna stop at noon. I'll have something to eat, and then I'll switch to this project, and then I'll work on that for a couple of hours, and then I'll stop and take a break, and then I'll switch to another project and work on that in the evening. And it's just like, okay, I know that for me is too much. Okay, so I decided that I'm working on one major project at a time. And when I feel secure and confident in the work that I am putting into the project, and I'm pleased with the output, then I will look into other things that I have brewing in the back of my mind. You all would be surprised if you could get back here and really get up into the mental space of what was happening. Oh my gosh, I would overwhelm you, okay? But we're not here for that. We are not here to be overwhelmed. We have done enough of that, ladies. Enough. No more. My plate is pretty full now. In addition to the daytime work as an educator, I'm preparing and executing dance fitness classes and trainings and resistance training workouts weekly. So if you're trying to get fit, I'm likely the person you need to be talking to. Shameless plug, okay? Now I'm developing content for YouTube. Look at that. And y'all know it requires a high level of consistency in order to be successful. I have to do videos regularly, right? And I want to. So I want to make time for that, right? I have to fit that in with things that I'm working on because I believe I'm supposed to be doing this. I have a message for the world. I do. I do. I'm supposed to help a lot of people, and I think that this is a great way to do it. So here I am, right? But to top it off, I'm a mother. And the older my girls get, the more of my time and attention they want, need, require, and deserve, okay? Making room for other things at this time gives me a headache just thinking about it. And it makes me want to take a nap because it can be a lot to juggle for me. I have to be careful not to waste time, right? Because I don't want to be mediocre in a million areas and not mastering anything. Like I said in my previous video, time is something we cannot get back. We have to use it wisely and strategically in ways that help us to maximize our success and prosperity. Okay? We don't have time to waste jumping from one thing to another and then being disappointed because we're not great in one thing. Excuse me. Figure out how to be great in one thing and go with it. Think about it. Don't waste time trying to do too many things, okay? So, wasting time. It's a good segue. Doing too much can cause you to be forgetful, and this can cause you to waste time. At least for me, it does. When I'm doing too much, I find that I am constantly retraining myself on stuff that is usually second nature to me. It's like, how did I forget this? I should know this. I have been doing this forever. It is the result of a lack of focus by allowing myself to be pulled in different directions. This is a frustrating waste of time. For me, I can only be working on a maximum of about 3 major projects at a time. Anything more becomes a distraction. And then I have to spend extra time making sure that I am solid with my main 3 objectives. For example, I'm an educator, a group fitness instructor, and a mother. Okay, right now these 3 things consume all of my time. It is very challenging for me to fit in more things. I have to remember that I always have smaller tasks to complete daily inside of these 3 major commitments. I have enough work to do, okay? For me, I have enough work to do. And I love it. I love it. But when I start piling other stuff on, I have to do this, that, and all, then I start to not loving things anymore. And that I cannot have because I want to do what I do in peace, joy, and calm flow. I want things to flow a little bit easier, right? No more of this hustle and bustle. Adding extra to my plate puts strain on my time and ultimately strain on my brain and my body. And that I cannot have. I can't afford to do it. I'm a group fitness instructor. Part of my job is maintaining a high level of health and wellness. So I have to keep myself together. So one of the things that I have to do is be sure that I'm not overworking myself by trying to multitask so many different projects. Think about it, ladies. Think about those areas where you're doing too much, okay? You're likely causing increased stress and anxiety, right? I find that when you're not good at multitasking, you ultimately feel like you are spreading yourself thin, okay? You can't help it. You're always thinking about what you have to work on, what assignments need to be completed in order to maximize the productivity of your major projects. So If you have more than 3 major projects, in my opinion, it is overwhelming and stressful on the brain and the body, especially if your major projects don't seem to be taken off the way that you want them to. Okay? Think about it. If you feel like you could be doing a better job in certain areas, consider whether or not you are as focused as you need to be in that area. Maybe you're doing too much. Maybe you need to put some things down so you can really hone in on that thing, right? You feel unaccomplished if it looks like none of your tasks are gaining the momentum that you need to be great. You have to reevaluate your input. Are you putting low energy into too many things? Where's your focus? I think the goal, at least for me, is to put high energy, big energy into one thing at a time if possible. This helps, in my opinion, to increase calm flow and limit bouts of sickness, from sinus issues to headaches and nausea. The extensive output that we experience as women is very stressful for us. Why? Well, biologically, our bodies are already working hard from month to month. And from what I understand, even when we go through the change, that is next level hormonal stress. See, our bodies start out biologically stressed. The beauty of being a woman, without even doing any work yet, our body is already working. Think about it. Think about it. Think about your body from month to month to month. So when you add to the natural body stresses that you are born with, multitasking and overworking yourself, say hello to migraines, muscle tension, body aches, increased blood pressure, various forms of fatigue, and other health issues. Now we have the added burden of decreased wellness. It doesn't feel good and it is not healthy. For me, I can't enjoy my success if I'm exhausted and worn. I can't have fun in my work, and I can't celebrate if I'm not physically well. Ladies, think about it. You might need to put some stuff down and or get more support. See, when you're adding on more projects, more work to your to-do list, you need more support the more work that you do. From a spouse to extended family to friends to sponsors, etc. And real quick, I don't mean support in a derogatory way, especially when I use the term sponsor. I mean it in a sense of when you think of people who are successful in certain areas, many of them have had sponsors who are people who could give them a place to live, maybe money to start a business, free childcare, things like that to help ease the burden of basic things they need in life so that they can be rock stars in their lane. Okay? That's what I mean by that. All right? I don't necessarily mean just free handouts just cuz. No, I mean very specific help and support that is in place so you can focus on your major projects and tasks. Okay? More on that later. Those kinds of people who have specific support systems in place, they have assistance with basic needs so they can focus. I find that for every major project, you need a support team. A lot of us are overachieving type A personalities, ladies. We've been taught and we have to embrace doing it all. Being a type A personality, it isn't such a bad thing if you have the proper help and you can delegate to competent others and leverage the work that you need to do. And if you have people in your life who want to invest in you, that's a big help too. And when I say invest, I mean either they are assisting, like I said earlier, with maybe the care of your children, or they're assisting you, if necessary, in a financial manner, maybe to like start a business or something, or they are assisting you um, in any way that lightens the load so you can focus on your projects. That's great. That's what I mean when I say invested in you. The major issue I see with a lot of us ladies is, especially those who might be overworked, is they don't have the proper support system or systems in place. And I emphasize systems with an S, okay? Because you need more than one, all right? Think about it. You likely need more than one system in place to help you with all the things that you want to do. So a lot of ladies are kind of shooting from the hip. They're just shooting from the hip with every idea that comes to mind, all right? And they may not be considering, and they may not even be outweighing the long-term investment of time, energy, and mental, emotional, and physical, and even financial output that's required for all of the things that they want to do. I've said it in my last video, and I'll say it again. You really do have to be strategic about everything that you're trying to do. Okay, this is going to decrease that stress. Like, that's the whole point. Okay, so good quality, reliable, and consistent help enables a woman to manage themselves. All right, like Karen White said in her song, "I am not your superwoman." Mm-mm. No, ma'am. No, sir. Mm-mm. I'm not. Ladies, you need help for all of those grand ideas that you have in your head. You likely need moral support, emotional, mental, and physical support. And a lot of ladies need financial support. All of those grand projects that you have in your head are not going to fall out of the sky, ladies. You need to think through a strategy and ensure that you have adequate, committed, reliable, and resourceful help on your side. Otherwise, you will exhaust yourself. You're going to exhaust yourself multitasking and trying to do everything on your own. That's a lot. It's a lot, ladies, and it's very stressful. It is. And I just don't want women to be burdened with all of this stress anymore. I just don't. I know too many women um who struggle with as much stress as I do, and I want easier lives for us. I just do. I do, and that is likely never going to change. I want our lives to be easier, because the older we get, we need to realize that, you know what? If we've put in work all of our lives and we've raised children, we deserve it. And it's nothing wrong with lightening the load. I suggest starting with one thing at a time, organizing your support team and becoming hyper focused on that. And once you are successful in that area, the universe will notice. The universe will notice your focus, and other doors will open. Okay? But you have to beat on your craft first. You have to be on that one thing. One thing. Get great at it. Become the experts. Become the all-knowing person in that one area first. And then other things will fall into place. But if you're all over the place, you're like, I'm working on this, I'm working on that, oh, it's too much for me to even think about. Let me sip my tea. I gotta calm down. Do the thing that comes naturally to you. Seriously. What do I mean? So here are some examples of women I know and women who I've seen in real life and on TV and in other areas, who beat on their craft. They do the thing in their lane that they're good at, and they are rock stars at it. So the stay-at-home wife and mother, most of them, at least the ones that I know, and I said this in my other videos, ladies, especially the ones who look like me, yes, you too can be a stay-at-home wife and mother, and you can even have a business from home at the same time. You can have it all at once. It's possible. I've seen it done. I see it done all the time. So that's my sidebar. The stay-at-home wife and mother who beats on her craft. She has a very organized home. There's a space for everything, and everything is in its space. These mothers, they create sanctuaries, and I believe that they are able to do so because of their main focus of creating a home environment that is clean, calm, comfortable, and organized. And these ladies have solid support squads in place. They got a team, at least one or two of them. And their young children tend to flourish and are healthy, well-behaved, and they're all usually socially well-adjusted and high achievers. All right? I'm telling you, it's possible. I see it. Prosperous entrepreneurs. I know women like this too. The ones who I'm familiar with are hyper-focused on their businesses day in and day out. Their attention flows in one direction. They beat on their craft, which is growing their businesses every day. They have reliable and consistent support systems in place, which help keep them focused. And they are not distracted and do not allow other people or things to pull them away from the work that they are doing. And the fruits of their labor are evident, okay? What are the fruits of their labor? Consistent business growth and long-term wealth, okay? They do very well. Why? Because their business is their focus and they beat on their craft. They're not trying to multitask 1,000,001 major projects. They're focused, okay? And I also think about successful entertainers, right? Or successful figures in the media or in the public. For example, the ones who are at the top of the game. They don't do anything else outside of their focus. Two I can think of are Misty Copeland and Beyonce. Misty Copeland, prima ballerina. Beyonce, mega star and performer. These individuals had one focus and they went all in. We see them doing their jobs and owning clothing lines and writing books and raising families, but all of the extras came after they achieved high levels of success in their original main focus, after they had accumulated notoriety, income, popularity, and a major following, okay? Then the other ventures and investments happened because they created capital. They had sponsorship. They had solid teams of assistants and support that made it easier for them to focus on their craft. These individuals spent years beating on their craft, not allowing themselves to be pulled in 1,000,001 direction, and as a result, they can now explore other interests because they have solidified their foundation and the space in their lane. They're rock stars in their lane. Okay? Ladies, become a rock star in your lane. Beat on your craft. All right? The thing that is true to you. And take on new tasks, one major project or goal at a time. Take it easy, ladies. Stop doing too much. Oh, Lord. Y'all already know. Less is more. Okay? So, if you're feeling the video. Like it if you're not, and share it with everyone that you know. And be sure to subscribe to S. Dawn Premier here on YouTube, like S. Dawn Premier on Facebook, and follow S. Dawn Premier on Instagram. It's go time, baby.